Welcome in to Varsity Vibe presented by First Security Bank. I'm your host, Alyssa Orange, and it's great to be with you. And I'm really excited to share this conversation today with you with quarterback Brice Owens of Har-Ber High School. You know, when you look around the 7A West, it just continues to get more competitive, right? They add Shiloh Christian to the conference this year. And a lot of those teams looking to see who their next quarterback is going to be. But for Har-Ber and the Wildcats, Brice Owens is going to have another opportunity to step in his senior year and see what he can do with this Wildcats offense. It was really cool to get to know him on the football field, but also get to know him a little bit off the football field as well. I hope you enjoy this conversation with Har-Ber Wildcats quarterback Brice Owens. Excited to be talking with Brice Owens, quarterback at Har-Ber High School. And Brice, you guys are getting ready for the 2026 season. And I know a lot of that starts with 7-on-7 and summer camp. So let's start there. You guys had the one at Arkansas over the weekend, or yesterday. You had your own over the weekend. How have things gone this summer in the workouts?
Isn't it? It's been a process, Coach Danenhauer and all of our coaches, they've been putting it in our brain that we can be a lot better than what we think, and we're starting to see glimpses of that. Um, Yesterday at the Arkansas 7-on-7, we entered to bracket play, the 1 seed, and we made the top 8. Just now, we're starting to finally put the puzzle pieces together, but we just have a little bit of like tiny mistakes that build up a little bit here and there, but we're cleaning those out day by day, and by season, we should be unstoppable.
I was out there for you guys' quote pro day when you were doing all your drills and such, and it just looks like you're bigger, you're stronger, you're faster. How much work have you put on this off season since last year ended to continue to get better in that way?
It's actually been ever since football season. It really hasn't ended for me. Ever since that last game against Little Rock Christian ended, I was in the lab the next week working with quarterback trainers, strength and conditioning coaches. So it's my senior. It's the biggest year for probably my football career so far, and I'm taking it to heart. So I just want to be as best as I can be to make my teammates better, so we can make some noise this year and put our names out there.
Before we look at kind of ahead and what you want, looking back at 2025, what do you think you learned about yourself the most as the quarterback for the Wildcats?
I learned a lot of things actually behind the center, but the main thing that I learned is that the just really that I can't let the bad carry on to like the next play or the next down or something like that, because I've seen myself a lot of times last year actually wrong something bad went wrong, and it kind of carried on the next play and the next play, and then as I can see that the team feeds off of me, the quarterback, I'm the leader, along with some other guys. So if they see me start to, get low, then our morale starts to get low. So I just learned that I need to stay level, not too high, not too low, just to keep my
Yeah.
teammates up, also myself.
Yeah, how do you do that? How do you start to kind of mentally build that strength, because it's a muscle just like anything else, right? Because there were so many games last year where like you mentioned, a play maybe goes in a different direction and your record is a little different.
Well, to me, I'm just like towards the end of the season, I started getting a lot closer with God. So every time something bad went wrong or something like that, I always tell myself He has a plan for me. Um, if I trust in His perfect plan, nothing can stop me or anything like that. So I just kind of leaned into my faith and know that this happened for a reason, but I'm not going to let this wrong make just carry on to the next.
Yeah, I love that. How did you what changed? What shifted? What changed maybe in your routine that as you say brought you closer with your faith?
Yes, man. Every morning, just getting into the Word. Every morning before school, I cracked up in the Bible a little bit, and if I had time after school, I would, after practice stuff like that, I would get on the Bible app on my phone, just start reading, learning more about Him and about myself.
Yeah, big picture stuff, obviously, which is really, really great to take in. You're also taking in a brand new offense, right? And so, what was that relationship with Coach Danenhauer when he came over and took over the program?
Yes, last year it was a lot slower pace. We're still getting to know each other, but I feel like this year he's honestly like another father figure to me. We can tell each other anything. We're really close. He gets on to me, and I'm allowed to take that, give him my feedback without there being like any bad blood between us. So we have like a really strong bond, along with like my quarterback coach, Coach Cal. Like we all just, there's be sometimes they'll get on me, and maybe I think they're wrong, maybe I am wrong. But we just have that strong enough bond that we're not gonna let like what they say like affect me. Like they're just coaching us, they're coaching me. So I've learned not to
Yeah.
take that personally, and we're a lot
Yeah.
closer now this season, so
Mhm.
it's gonna help a lot with that.
Yeah, and so that regard, where do you think you grew the most mechanically, talent wise last year?
hmm from the past years, but leading up to high school, I was more of a runner. I could throw the ball, obviously, but I was just so much more athletic than everybody else. So I kind of just like in my past, I lean more on my athletic ability. But starting really last year and now this year, I've dialed in more mechanically, getting my rotation slower. I mean faster, and just slowing down the game with my in my head. Learning more of my defense and stuff like that. So I definitely attacked the mental game the most this off season.
Mhm. They say that as a mobile quarterback, it's so hard to not trust, like you said, your athletic ability and maybe take off too soon. How much has that been of adjustment to build that patience in the pocket and not take off because you are so trusting and reliant on your talent to run the football?
It all really starts with my receivers too. Last year we worked a good amount before and after practice, but this year I'm getting a lot closer with those guys, building that connection because obviously, um, if I feel comfortable, staying in the pocket, delivering them the ball because we have that time and connection, it's gonna make me not have to use my legs as much. So just building that connection with my running backs and receivers so that we're always on the same page.
Mhm.
They know my timing, I know their timing. It helps me a lot
Yeah.
be more of a pocket passer than always getting out the pocket.
And you've got some returners around you. Obviously, you have Reed McAllister back there, back with you in the backfield. But your offensive line, which is critical, right? Guys there and building that chemistry. Do you just feel so much more confident in your abilities because you have guys that you've played with over the last couple of seasons that are still back there with you?
Yes, ma'am. I feel we all feel a lot more confident. Our entire offense really is returning. Mine is one tight end, but we got puzzle pieces coming up
Mhm.
from behind them. So we have every single hole in our offense. We have a dude there. So it just makes all of us feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more patient with each other because we know that, last year was last year, going to leave last year and then we know that what we can do this year. So it just builds up our confidence to build up our coaches' confidence, our defense confidence, special teams. So
Mhm.
we're just trying to be that fire to get us started.
You said this is one of the biggest years of your football career heading into your senior year, and I'm sure you've done some reflecting as you continue to grow as a football player. When you look at what 2026 is going to be, what are some things for you personally, and then as a team, as a teammate, you want to accomplish this last year of high school football?
On the football side of that, I really do want to win conference. I want to go ahead and go down to state, um, put ourselves in a good position to win it. But also outside of the game, I just want to grow a lot more mentally and physically. Football's not going to be there every day,
Yeah,
every second of my life. So when football's not around,
yeah,
I want to have football help me prepare,
yeah,
be a better son in the future, a better boyfriend, a better husband,
yeah.
stuff like that, a better father. So
Yeah, I have a question on that, Berg. We're gonna put that on hold for just a second. You look around the 7A West, you add a team like Shiloh Christian. But outside of Shiloh, who wasn't there last year, they're here this year. You, I think, are the only returning starter in the quarterback position. And while every other school is looking to see who's going to be that starter for them, you're there and you have that role and you have that experience under your feet. How beneficial do you believe that's going to be for the Wildcats in 2026?
it's gonna be really beneficial for me and the Wildcats, this year having experience back there, the quarterback position. It's one of the tougher positions in this game, but also with me being a returner, I still have to keep in my brain that I am replaceable. There could be someone that moves in, so I can't take my foot off the gas in any circumstance. I got to keep it on throttle, keep going 100% as much as I can. So I just know that I'm not. This spot is not guaranteed still. The people up coming from freshmen, the central team, they can come replace me. So I just gotta keep working to put us in a better position to win some more games this year.
How much pressure do you feel like that puts on yourself? Do you feel it?
Um, I do a little bit. There's a little bit of pressure that is just built in with this quarterback position, but they say pressure makes diamonds. So I trust my coaches and my teammates around me to pick me up if I'm down, and I'll be there to pick them up. So I feel like it's good pressure. It's the pressure that I
Yeah.
need, keep
Yeah.
to be the best I can be.
Yeah, and sometimes we forget, right? Like football's a game and football's meant to be fun.
Right.
As much attention to detail and pressure and whatnot is put into this game, it's still a game. What is it about football that you still enjoy so much?
Yes, Coach Dennett, all of our coaches put this in our head that this game is supposed to be fun, stuff like that. But it's just like honestly the brotherhood that we make in this team that makes this a lot funner going out there, going out to war with people that I trust and I love and that love me. So it just makes me feel safe and at home when I look to my left and right and see that there's people here that are really they're on this field together. They're here for me and I'm here for them. So it's just honestly like a blessing that we've made this big of a community of at Har-Ber. So
Mhm.
yeah.
People have seen you play. They know what Brice Owens can bring to the football field, but who is Brice Owens away from the football field? That's the question I had that I wanted to get back to. When you talk about football not being around forever, who are you when the pads aren't on?
I'm a little bit interesting. I play the piano a lot. I cook a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I have a little weird talent, stuff like that. I like to hang out with my friends. I like, I don't really read or anything like that, but I'm really just a chill guy. I just do what I can. Hang out with my friends a lot,
Mhm.
stay with my family.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I just
How long have you been playing the piano?
I've been playing well, I've played a little bit at my great grandma's house back
Mhm.
in Kansas City when I was really young, but I kinda got away from that when she passed, but, this past year or 2, I've been leaning back into that because it's like a calming factor to me, like, when the world's chaotic and my head's going crazy, it's just kinda like an outlet.
Yeah, everyone kind of has that something that helps um stand as something therapeutic, right? Like I so I get it, right? Completely different from anything that I do. How is that release helpful for you? How have you found that it just helps you mentally and physically just have something as an outlet like playing the piano?
Yes, ma'am, it really just like I said, it just calms me down,
Yeah.
kinda just releases the chaos, that, can come with football, so I feel like it's really important for all of us to have hobbies and stuff like that because obviously football is just a game. It's meant to be played, it's meant to be had fun with. So it's just having that hobby that when not even just football, when life gets stressful, that you can have that escape go to
Mm. What
and
do
then
you
just yourself.
Sure, what do you like to play?
I'm a big Drake guy, so I can play a
Okay.
lot of Drake songs. Really just all R&B songs. I can play a
Okay.
lot of them. So
Okay.
that's my thing.
Okay, are we gonna have to argue which Drake album's the best? Because there's one
I
answer.
there's one answer that I'm pretty sure you'll say, but mine is not that one.
What do you got? What's your answer?
My answer, I've never met someone that thinks this is their favorite album, but me personally, my favorite album is For All the Dogs.
Okay. Okay.
Mm,
All right. I like it. See, Take Care, I think, is his best album, top to
it's
bottom.
definitely up there.
So that's me. I actually have it like on my record player right now. So I
Take
hands
Care is
down
the
think
Drake.
all right. Well that's great. Okay, so you also mentioned cooking. What are we doing in the kitchen?
Me and my sister actually, it really started with my grandma. We used to cook a lot with her making pancakes and eggs and stuff like that. But
Sure.
um, we really cook anything and everything. She's off in college right now. She's sending me pictures of what she makes every day. It's just delicious, and it, makes you want to get in the kitchen to do something too. So yeah, we are pretty dangerous with the knives in the kitchen.
I love that. Are you a see what I can create on my own kind of guy, or are you a follow a recipe kind of guy?
I'm kind of both, but I lean more just like, trying random stuff, putting this and that to see where this takes me. But, sometimes I'll follow a cookbook, but I,
Okay.
I like to be original.
I think there's something to be said about taking a recipe and then tweaking it to make it your
Yeah.
own.
Make it your own. Get
Yeah.
your own little spice and
So what's the signature dish? If there was something that I said you've got, you know, someone Drake's coming over for dinner. What are you making Drake for dinner?
actually I just made this one dish a couple days ago for my parents and I. It was for me I made a buffalo chicken fettuccine alfredo type thing.
Ooh.
My parents I made they don't eat they're pescatarian, so they only eat seafood and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I same thing. but put shrimp in theirs, and it was probably one of the best things I've made in a minute.
Man, I would tell you to write that recipe down for me, but if if it's just off the top of your head, I commend you, and that sounds delicious.
It was pretty fantastic.
That's awesome. Is that something you wanted? Is culinary in your future, or is it more of just for the love of being in the kitchen?
Honestly, it's probably just for the love.
Yeah.
I just love cooking, obviously. I mean, culinary school, I've definitely thought about that. I've talked about it with my sister because I'm pretty sure that's what she wants to do now. So, um, I kind of like thought that, she can do the culinary school and then she can bring the culinary school to me. So I don't have to really like go deep into that, but I always have somebody that can teach me something. So it's kind of like a
Yeah.
double entendre.
That's a fun talent to have, a great talent to have. Does it make eating out at restaurants hard though? Like, oh, I could go
It,
home and make this better?
yeah, sometimes it does get like that. When I go
Yeah.
to restaurants, though, Um, I don't really like to try something new. I usually just
Yeah.
stick with the same cheeseburger, chicken strips, and fries. So
Sure. Hard to go wrong with any of that as well. When you look at the future, and obviously you've got a football season and a senior season ahead of you, but what do you want the future to look like? Is football in that future, or where are you at there?
yes, man, football is definitely it's in my future. I would love to go off and play college somewhere, and hopefully, if the opportunity presents itself, go pro and be able to make a living off of that. So yeah, it's definitely been it's a big picture in my head ever since I was 3. So I'd love to do it.
That's great. Well, I know you've got a bright future ahead in 2026 leading this Har-Ber Wildcats team. Last question for you, my guy. If I were just to say like who is Brice Owens for those people who are listening, how would you answer that question?
I would say I'm kind of just that guy that if you ever have a problem or just need something, football or not, mentally, physically, you just need help with something, I'll always be there for somebody because, there's been times where I've needed somebody and I've had my parents, they've always been there for me. So it's just kind of like looking up to them. I would love to be like that, having just, always being there for somebody when they need help because there's a lot of people out there that might feel like they don't have anybody to lean on. I just always want to be that person, even if I'm close to you, not close to you, that you can talk to about whatever.
Well, I appreciate the time, Brice. Best of luck in 2026. You know we'll be out there watching some of your games and rooting on the Wildcats. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Varsity Vibe. And Bryce there mentioning that 7-on-7 tournament at Arkansas. We have great content on our social media platforms from that event. So go check that out over on our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or X. Such great content over there for you as we continue to roll on this summer and get ready for the fall. We also want to encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. That's varsityvibearkansas.com. That comes to your inbox twice a week. And that keeps you in the know with everything that's happening this summer as well in high school athletics around the state. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and wherever you get your podcasts. Once again, I'm your host, Alyssa Orange. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time.